Promo code. Promo code.
All right, welcome back. This week's episode of the Promo Code Podcast with Jason Gillearn is brought to you by Ben Brown, Problematic Tweet Specialist. So we've all gotten on Twitter and tweeted some things we wish we hadn't. Maybe because you were drunk at the time or you were a different gender back then. Whatever the case may be, those tweets could cost you dearly and they need to be deleted. Now, of course, you could delete those tweets yourself if you have the time. I mean, shit, you can do anything if you have the fucking time. I mean, if the pump on your pool isn't working, you can get on YouTube and try to fix it yourself after you've already ordered the part, which takes forever, as your pool goes fucking green. But are you going to do that? Fuck no. You're going to hire a professional. Or let's say you're married a very long time, right? Are you going to fuck your own wife? I mean, I guess sometimes, but most of the time, you're going to contract that shit out. Maybe you can hire the pool guy for that too. Whoever. Just get the fucking job done. By the way, if you do have a pool guy fuck your wife, don't tweet that either. Just film it and put it away. I made that mistake myself after my wife fucked our pool guy. Now, luckily, I'm our pool guy, so it didn't cost me anything. But still, not a smart tweet. Either way, you need the services of Ben Brown, Problematic Tweet Specialist. And here's why his service is so valuable. Okay, let's say you choose to delete your own tweets yourself instead of hiring Ben to do it for you. Fair enough. But you are only likely to find the tweets that you sent which are glaringly problematic, like Trump 2024 or Hitler was right. Or you can tweet like Trump did that COVID came from China. Sorry, that's a no-no. I don't care if it came from China or it didn't, even though it did. You can't say that. But what about the other tweets you sent that you didn't even know were problematic? Well, Ben Brown is your own personal woke consultant who knows exactly what is okay to tweet and what's not. So let's say you watch the show Riverdale and a commercial for it comes on promoting an upcoming episode where they tease Betty and Veronica kissing. Okay? And then you send off a tweet saying that you can't wait to see that week's show. Seems harmless enough, right? But then it turns out that the commercial was just an attention-grabbing promo for the show because nothing actually happens between the two girls. Now, it's okay for a show to have same-sex characters mess around with each other and then realize it's not for them. But when same-sex acts are done just to get people to watch a show and nothing happens, that's called queer baiting, and it's not okay. And now you're screwed because you got on Twitter that week and plugged a show that promotes this. I don't care that you had no idea what queer baiting was because you're not a woke millennial lesbian blogger. The damage is done. All you did was send an innocuous tweet and then tuned into Riverdale to watch some softcore lesbian porn, and now you're canceled. And you didn't even get to jack off. Ben Brown would have caught that and saved you a lot of problems. There are probably so many things that you tweeted that were okay when you tweeted them, but they're not okay now because things are changing so fast. So you're obviously not going to search for those tweets to delete them. Plus, you don't even remember sending them. So odds are, over the last 15 years, you've probably worn a costume, right? Well, I'll tell you what, there's a pretty good chance that the costume you wore back then is not acceptable now. Maybe you wore a costume that was body shaming or objectifying. Quite possibly you were a terrorist or someone who's mentally ill. You dressed as a homeless person, maybe a geisha, a Rastafarian, or maybe a gypsy. All not okay. And not only did you type something stupid on the fucking tweet, but there's now a picture of you in that costume. There you are holding a Confederate flag. And it wasn't even Halloween. The point is, whether you know it or not, you are engaging in cultural appropriation because those outfits play into stereotypes that have led to the mistreatment or misunderstanding of a group of people. Plus, you look like an asshole. And you're going to feel like an asshole when you get canceled. Here's another example. You were watching your favorite NFL team and they played Washington. And you tweet, "Fuck the Redskins." After a few weeks, nobody remembers you were talking about football, so that's taken out of context. And now all of a sudden you have the Native American Legal Defense Project for the Advancement of Civil Liberties and the Advocacy of Indigenous Rights Organization all over your fucking ass. And now even the NFL team you were supporting fucking hates you. But you do not need to worry about any of this shit if you just hire Ben. And what's cool about Ben is that not only is he great at what he does, reviewing every tweet you've ever sent, but he's also passionate about it. And he genuinely cares about his clients and doesn't want them to go through what happened to him. That's right, Ben was a victim of cancel culture himself. He told me one day he's about to board a plane, right? He sends off a tweet where he misgenders Mr. Potato Head. And by the time he landed, the transgender and non-binary Potato Head community has ruined his fucking life. He was immediately fired from his job at Hot Dog on a Stick and fell into a deep depression. He said to this day he gets triggered every time he sees a fucking potato. And he's Irish. Fucking guy's cursed. And he was even worried about me personally. You know, he called me to advertise on my podcast, but I guess he looked at some of my tweets and immediately became concerned because he said to me, there's a tweet you have where you talk about pussy. And I told him quickly, well, there's a lot more than one, and that's half my act. Then I tried to explain to him that they're just jokes and that I was born in 1970 and I grew up on jokes. And he started laughing. He said, "Jokes? You can't do jokes anymore." And then he said, "Aren't you worried about being canceled?" And I said, "Wow, thanks for the compliment, but canceled from what?" Then I explained to Ben that people don't care enough about me personally to cancel me from anything. I told him I was just lucky like that. Plus, I've made the right decisions in life, like not putting my entire livelihood into Hollywood or something fucking insane like that. He really didn't understand that because I think he wanted to be famous before he got canceled. I think he was some Instagram fucking asshole or something. But you know, he's just a victim of his generation. But anyway, I hope you take my advice of hiring this fucking guy and take some stress off yourself because unlike me, you might have a future. I mean, God knows you're not going to make the fucking smartest decision of all, which would be to delete your fucking Twitter account altogether, because you're too vain for that. Hey man, the world needs your tweets, or at least your 15 followers do. All right, that's it. Go to Ben's website. Type in the promo code gender nonconforming. You're going to get 25% off any past tweet that you've sent that has to do with gender nonconforming, gender fluid, or gender queer tweets, or non-binary, or intersex, or gender expansive, or agender, or gender void. Okay? Anything to do with fucking gender, you get a quarter off. I mean, you might have to Google that shit, but it's good for you. Learn what the fuck's going on out there. Have some compassion for people. Come on. All right, there it is. Please rate and review and subscribe to the podcast. And if you are super cool, shoot over a donation like B. Hannigan, another good Irishman. Thank you, sir. Very nice and greatly appreciated. And thank you all for listening to the Promo Code Podcast with Jason Gillearn.
card.